Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, everyone?
Wait, I actually love that beginning. Can we have that be the beginning to every podcast?
It's kind of like harmonious almost.
I know. Should we try to harmonize right now, like for real?
No,
Yes.
I don't think so.
I think I would be the worst.
I think you'd be the best.
I might be the worst.
Mal was in show choir.
Oh yeah, you're right. Malcolm saying.
No, absolutely. Ryan is probably
I forgot.
rolling over in the grave hearing that. He's not dead, but if he were, he would be rolling over.
He just got a chill down his spine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Welcome to Fuck
Hello.
Wellness. This is us. I'm Mallory.
Hello, I'm Lara.
And I'm McKenna. And Douglas is here also. As usual.
Obviously.
I think we have a really fun episode today.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a blast, and it's we'll talk about it for sure, but like it was a little tricky.
No, I actually don't think we're gonna talk about it today.
I'm gonna color while we do this podcast, so color the activity that we are doing all together if you want to do it.
Okay, so yeah, what
Mallory will introduce the activity. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Yes. So, okay, we're just going to keep building up to the activity. So, today's podcast is optional interactive. You don't have to do the activity that we're going to do on the pod. You can just listen to us do it, and you could also like do it after you listen on your own time. But if you want to do it with us, then feel free to just like listen and pause the pod whenever you want. Or if you have some free time and you want to do it before you listen to this pod, I'm going to explain kind of what we're going to do today. You could pause the podcast, do it on your own time, and then listen to ours, whatever you want to do. For some background, maybe, a few months ago, I found this NPR stick figure introspection drill.
NPR babies, where you at?
Yeah, truly. I'm going to call it an introspection drill. And the purpose of it was sort of to dig deeper into maybe the war between your stability and your adventure side, which I think most people can relate to some degree in this current capitalist society. And I'm going to walk through it once my phone loads. But anyway, I actually remember it fully. So actually I don't really feel like I need to read it, but basically,
also, I think
go ahead.
That graphic is very helpful. And if there's some way we can link the Instagram graphic, I think we should try.
We for sure will. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So basically I'm just going to I'll read the caption. If you feel stuck between two conflicting desires and can't seem to move forward, that feeling is completely normal, especially for individuals in their quarter life, a term used to describe the developmental stage between adolescence and midlife. I feel like that's us.
That's so us.
Wow, I actually hadn't even read this caption before right now. So.
Yeah, the caption has a lot of good relevant information.
Wow. To help people find balance, the psychotherapist that created it, Satya Doyle Byock, shout out, developed a drawing exercise she calls My Two Conflicting Selves. It asks people to draw stick figures of their competing sides, list out their wants and needs, and then figure out how to bring those worlds together. If you would like to give it a try, follow the steps above. It should take about 15 minutes, and all you need is a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. She also has a book called Quarter Life, The Search for Self in Early Adulthood, which feels very relevant. We should probably all read that at some point.
We should probably get that, maybe. Book club?
Yeah. So I'm just
what's the book called again? Sorry.
Quarter Life, The Search for Self in Early Adulthood.
Wow.
Time to reserve.
Yeah.
Add it to your library queue.
Yeah, I'm going to need to do that right now.
Okay, I'm just going to quickly walk through it. So if you want to do it before we start walking through ours, you can pause the podcast, do it on your own, and then join in. Or if you want to do it afterwards, you can just keep listening. So Again, the stick figure exercise can help you find your purpose. It was developed by psychotherapist Satya Doyle Byock to help people find a compromise between two conflicting selves. Step 1, fold a piece of paper in half and draw 2 stick figures. I didn't fold my paper in half. I just drew a line. So a lot of autonomy there.
I
on that
did
one.
fold mine in half, so I listened to directions, which
Wow,
probably
you're a
is like
follower.
it's like an experiment in and of itself of like who follows the directions.
Yeah, I drew a line.
Interesting. Okay. So anyway, piece of paper, a stick figure on each side. You can either fold it in half like McKenna or draw a line down the middle like Lara and me. Step 2, you can name each side of your personality. For example, in the NPR Instagram post, one side is Daphne and one side is Marielle. And one figure represents your quote unquote stability side, the part of you that wants to feel safe and grounded. And the other side represents your quote unquote meaning side, the part of you that longs for adventure and freedom. Step 3, you write a narrative about your 2 sides. You explore each stick figure's personality traits in order to reveal your internal tensions. This will help you to get to know each human in this partnership and what their needs are. The next few questions are like the questions that she said you can use to kind of start thinking about the narrative. I feel like I used those as kind of a jumping off point and went from there, but you could also just literally go through those and answer them. But these are the questions that she wrote down. So, what job do you have? What's your relationship status? What kind of clothes do you wear? Do you have a pet? Do you have a religion or a spiritual practice? Where do you live? What do you do for fun? What are your hobbies? What's your dream vacation? Do you have kids / do you want them? So you can answer those directly, or you can kind of just use those as a brainstorm beginning to the 2 sides of the personality. From there, step 4 is observing your 2 sides, wishes and needs. So looking at your responses to each stick figure. So your stability side and your meaning side. How are they different? How are they similar? Maybe your 2 sides are very different. Maybe they have a lot in common. Maybe there's a few overlaps, but kind of observe and see where there might be overlap between those 2. Because step 5 is figuring out how to fulfill both sides of yourself. So how much is each side dominating your life? Express that in terms of percentages. Maybe your stability side is at 80% and your meaning side is at 20%. Reflect on whether you're happy with that breakdown. If not, ask yourself what you can do to strive for more balance. For example, if you long to travel but have a steady work schedule, perhaps you could decorate your apartment with objects from your travel. That is what this NPR thing says. I'm just imagining like you put sand on half of your floor with like a palm tree.
I wanted to go to the beach, but instead I just brought in dirt from outside.
But I work a 9 to 5, so I guess I'll just put a beach into my
it's like I'm on
vacation. Yeah. So anyway, ultimately you're trying to figure out where you can find overlap and find more balance between those 2 sides. We linked this post in our description. So if you're like, wow, I listened to that, but I really don't remember anything that Mallory said, you can also go find that literal post and just follow through it that way. I'm much more of a visual learner, so I would do that if it were me. But if you feel like you already have a sense of the activity, then move forward. So that's what we're doing today. How are we feeling?
I feel like this is just the most fun.
Yeah. I've been in such a journaling rut, and I feel like it really helped me to just draw, to be like, okay, you don't have to write anything, but you can like draw yourself. Like it's really fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this. I did it before upstairs with my mom, and she looked it over and she had a lot of really good things for me to add. So it was fun.
I feel like as we talk, I'm going to add so much more.
Me too.
Because I really, I kind of did it. I mean, it was before we hopped on the call, but I definitely did it. I wanted to spend more time, and then this today kind of got away from me. So it felt a little bit rushed. So I kind of just followed the questions exactly. So I feel like I'm missing so many core things. So
should we dive in?
Yeah. And I also think, I mean, are you guys comfortable with us? Well, how private are yours?
Mine is not private.
Mine's
I think
not
that
too private.
I think that maybe if we're comfortable, one or all of us should share. Maybe we can post pictures of them.
I thought that's what we were gonna do.
I thought we were all going to talk about it right now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I thought we were also going to post it on our
pod.
Instagram too.
Sure. Yeah, we can take pics.
Okay, cool. Do we want to go around and have each person kind of describe their whole thing, or do we want to just like go step by step?
I'm like feeling nervous all of a sudden. I don't know why.
Lara.
I think we kind of have to go one by one because it's like I followed the questions, but if everyone else kind of went off, and then I want to hear about the other things, and
Okay. Lara, do you feel like yours is like as much completed as you want it to be?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think so. But same thing as Ken is like I have space where I think I'm gonna add a lot more eventually.
But do you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first.
Okay.
I feel like I'm like second grade show and tell.
No, it feels really like about me poster.
Yeah, it does.
Remember that?
Yeah. Where's your tri-board?
Yeah. Okay, well, first off to start, like I had the hardest time with the naming thing.
That's so funny.
I didn't do it.
Stuck me for like a long time. It was definitely like writer's block where I was like, well, I can't, I've drawn my line and I have to name the two parts of myself. I can't keep going until I choose names. And I did end up changing one of my names.
Okay. Dive in.
Okay. Should I like show it like this?
Yeah, show and tell.
Okay. All right. So basically we have here are my two sides. I did the same side as the NPR person. So the left is my meaning side and the right is my stability side. And okay, here are the names that I first chose. And then, okay, so the first meaning Lara name that I chose was Liliana, which I don't like actually. I've decided to name her Dylan.
Okay,
so Dylan
love that.
Is my meaning side. And my this is ridiculous. My stability name for myself is Lexadora.
Lexadora.
You like it? Should I change it for real?
No, I love Dylan. I just want to say that if you were to ever change your name, I think you should change it to Dylan because I totally think you could be a Dylan.
I love Dylan as
also
a name.
Like I might have that on my child's name list.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the name Dylan.
I also love it.
Only for a girl though.
I feel like it could be
for anyone.
Just a great gender neutral name.
You're right, I guess. But I feel like
for
sometimes
anyone.
I feel like when I've met boys that are named Dylan, they're not so kind. I feel like actually that's not true. I know kind.
Dylan, just like mean boys.
Oh God, yeah, Mal. Sorry, your friend Dylan.
It's okay, Dylan. We love you.
Anyways, and Lexadora. I meant more like, should I change my real name to Lexadora?
Oh, absolutely not. I think we can call her Lexi for short, though, or Dora.
True.
Lots of nicknames.
Lexi. Okay, that's kind of fun for my stability side to have a flirty nickname.
I like Lexi. Yeah, goes by Lexi for short.
Yeah, Lexadora. When I'm being bad.
Okay. All right. Moving forward.
God. Okay. So Dylan. This is me. This is, I don't know how much you can see on
I think
here.
because most people are going to listen on the podcast. Just
I should describe it.
Yeah, describe.
So basically you have a flirty little stick figure. I'm wearing all black, like a black top and a black skirt and black tights and black boots. The black boots are what I started with because I just ordered these fun black pointy toe boots, and I feel like that is definitely something the Dylan side of me wanted. And I'm holding like a suitcase because I feel like that side of me is like always traveling, like living out of her suitcase kind of a lifestyle. my hair, which I felt like was a pretty important part for me. I've curled my hair. I have bangs. Right.
Dylan has bangs.
Dylan has bangs. Yeah.
Wow.
I know, which is honestly kind of into it. I also labeled both of my brains. So the Dylan brain is like a feeling brain, and I feel like my Lexi brain is like a compartmentalizing brain. I'm holding my phone, talking on my phone, very social, ha 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 ha. Here we have a potential dream of mine that I have not shared on the pod yet at all, but I have the can you see? The UK flag. So maybe eventually move there, find a dream artsy community kind of a thing. I have a laptop with all my cool creative ideas, tattoo gun. I drew a tattoo gun. I was pretty proud of that. Just to symbolize, like, maybe I'll learn how to maybe get a few tattoos and also get some more tattoos on myself. Sorry, Mom. And then I have drawn a key to my super artsy small studio apartment that I've really decorated quite colorfully and fun. And then I have like a calendar with all the days of the week, and it just says dancing, exploring, saying yes, because I feel like the meaning side of myself really wants to dance a lot more. I was watching a lot of dance videos last night. And then I also put on my meaning side, because I don't know, something like about when I think about the part of me that like wants to move to London or wants to like be really artsy and all that stuff, like it feels very adventurous and kind of risky almost. And so I put like a clock and I just said like lonely girl hours ? Because I feel like all of that, having a life that looks more like that would probably have a little bit more loneliness for me, which I think is interesting, because that's just, I think that loneliness, like, it would be a part of both of my sides, but it feels more like a fear as to why I wouldn't commit fully to the Dylan part of myself, because there would be loneliness that would come with that. And yeah, so that's Dylan. And then Lexi is holding a planner and a lunch bag, because Lexi packs her lunch every day and plans out her whole life. And then I just put hair, check mark up, suit, check mark on, smile, check mark soft. That's Lexi. And then she's wearing like kind of oversized, like an oversized kind of top and oversized pants, because more like oversized kind of don't pay attention clothing. And then there's a thought bubble coming out of her brain with a graph, and on the y-axis it says success, and then on the x-axis it says time, and then there's a straight linear line, because that's what Lexi thinks, you know, with time comes success in a very linear manner. And then we have nice savings with lots of dollar signs. And I put some other stick figures down here, kind of like the opposite of like my lonely girl hours for Dylan. I feel like Lexi, the stability part, the stable part of myself that has like more stable life, has a more stable like community, like a known community that I can rely on. So those stick figures are there. And then I have some boxes that just says my things with some sparkles, because I think that the stable side of myself loves things, like all the things in my room I just love, and like love having those things. It's like a comfort blanket almost. And I think if I were to choose a more Dylan lifestyle, it would require me to give up a lot of that and like give up control with that stuff. And then we just have a few bullet points on the Lexi side: stable job, constant schedule, nice health insurance, and safety are my bullet points.
Did you write what your job would be on both sides?
No, I don't have my job specifically on either, but definitely I think the meaning side of me wants like, you know, the
travel blogger,
super like, well, that or like a travel blogger or just something more like out there, like artsy out there, requires confidence to kind of say like, hey, I created this piece of art, like this is going to be my job kind of a thing. Whereas the stability side of me is very much like, oh, I can't create a job from my ideas. I have to, you know, work a job.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to fit myself to the idea of a job that already exists, I guess. So yeah.
Give us your percentages. Like what percent do you feel like? No, I didn't do mine yet, but just like your initial thoughts.
I don't even know. We have put percentages of what we think we are right now.
Yeah. Just talk us through like your thought process. You don't have to come up with an actual number, but like talk us through how you're feeling right now when I ask that and like your initial thoughts.
I definitely think I think that the life that I'm living right now is definitely majority Lexi, like hugely majority Lexi. I think that like in my future, I'm trying to kind of build my confidence and my skill set so that I can transition to try and live more like Dylan. But I definitely think right now in my life, and just my brain, like my brain likes the security of being like, oh, I know where my paycheck is coming. Like, I know what money I'm spending. I know what I'm saving. I know my friends. I know all of these things. Like, if I were to like eventually move to the UK, it would just be so much of like trying to figure out new things. And I think that does like, it really excites me, but it also really, really freaks me out. So I definitely think I'm like maybe 15%. Like 15%, Dylan, 85, Lexi right now. But things can change.
What parts of Dylan do you feel like you do have right now?
I think that I do have, like, I think that, my God, I totally forgot. On my Dylan side, I also have written just a little thought bubble, visibly queer, which I don't think is on my Lexi side at all. And then I also wrote fun, like, out there makeup. Like, I think that another part of myself that I don't really do that often is like I really like makeup and I love like playing around with that stuff. But on my day-to-day, like when I go to work or like I would never put on makeup for work. Like I would never really like try and put effort into what I look like at work just because that's not the attention that I want to be bringing to myself. But I think it's fun when parts of my life do afford me opportunities to be like, oh, tonight, like we're doing some social event. Like I want to like look a certain way or feel a certain way. So I think that, little glimpses of Dylan do come out in certain times in my life right now. And I think that I do, I don't have a studio apartment, but I think I've really decorated my room here to be kind of like the vibe of like me. It feels very much like me. I think that I am like more of these things, like the tattoo, the laptop with my cool ideas, like that's artsy stuff I'm trying to get more into because that's like a smaller thing that I can do as opposed to like moving to London. Like that is like a much larger, intense thing.
I mean, you moving to Boulder was a big Dylan move.
I agree. Yeah. That was like a very feeling move, but I think that it's interesting that once
you turned it into a Lexi.
Yes, I turned it into a Lexi thing because it was like,
yeah,
we're gonna move to Dylan, or we're gonna move to Dylan. We're gonna move to Boulder, and we're gonna do all these things, and and then soon it's like I feel like there's this fog of reality that kind of comes on to me, and I'm like, oh, but like my career and like my future, like we need to make good decisions, Lara. So Yeah. That's me.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thanks.
I like that. I feel like your drawings are like a book that I want to read. Like I want to see all your little like accessories for each of them.
I know. I would love to like, I'll probably still hang this on my wall. I feel like I'll just add some more things and then hang it up on my wall.
Ooh, that'd
I really
be
want
nice.
us to start addressing like, Lara, that was such a Dylan move.
Yeah.
Like, in our day-to-day conversation, like, Lexi, go away.
I know, right?
I mean, I do think it can help to externalize some of that of like,
totally.
All right, is this what I actually want, or is this
Lexi being a bitch today? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's a great activity. All right, I want to hear yours.
Mal,
do you want to go? Do you want me to
go? I prefer if you go because Douglas hasn't quite settled yet, and I think he will, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah, I can go. Okay, I did not have any like colorful things to make mine look fun, so I'm not gonna like hold it up, but you can see it on our Instagram, I guess. Yeah, so I did not do like the left side, right side thing, or I mean, I guess I did, but I did it the opposite of the Instagram post. So one side was my stability Mal, which I named Meredith, which has nothing to do with my friend Meredith, but because I met Meredith after I had this perception of the name Meredith being like a person who has their shit together and like really organized, like, I don't know, a badass bitch. Obviously my friend Meredith is also like a lot of those things, but it had this name and stability side has nothing to do with her. And then my meaning Mal side is named Maeve because I'm obsessed with the name Maeve right now.
Ooh,
and
I love it.
I feel like it is just like a sexy, cool name in general. So that's
Very
my
sexy.
meaning side. I feel like it's important for me to say that I feel like the stability side for me, like they described it as safe and grounded. And I wouldn't say I necessarily feel like what my stability side ended up being is like safe and grounded. It feels like it's more like kind of what yours was, Lara, like success focused and like what it would look like to have my life, like quote unquote, like performatively my life together, less like what it feels like to be safe and grounded. Like, I guess I feel like it turned out to be less like specifically those words in a way.
Safe
Does that
and
make
grounded.
sense?
Yeah, that's not how I interpreted.
Yeah, I didn't either. Side. So, okay. So stability Mal, Meredith. She works in higher education or in public health. Both sides are in a relationship with Ryan. I feel like it's important for that note to be in there. She's having kids at 30, which when I wrote that, I was like, holy fuck, that's in 3 years. Her dream vacation is to Iceland or Switzerland. Ooh. She has a super clean apartment. It's just always like really clean. She lives in Arlington or in Ventura. Okay, this is just a funny one. I don't know if any of you have seen Selling Sunset, but I've gotten really obsessed this weekend. I'd never seen it before. No, because I avoided watching it because I knew I would love it. So I didn't want to get into it, but I got into it this weekend.
It gets
juicy. In one of the first episodes, Mary sells a house in Fremont that is like the super beautiful, like light, airy, sunny house. And I just became obsessed with that. So I said, buys the Fremont house from Selling Sunset. Teaches at a fitness studio, wears some makeup, and remembers to shave her legs regularly. I said has her nails done, wears Rothy's and Lululemon, and remembers to wear jewelry that matches her outfit. She goes to Metabolic and does Pilates Reformer.
Reformer Pilates is such a Meredith thing.
Yeah, such a Meredith thing. Not Meredith, my friend. Okay, anyway.
No, yeah. Mallory Meredith.
Yeah. Mallory Meredith. Socializes on the weekends, goes to cultural shows, arts things, etc. She reads mostly nonfiction. She's really good at tracking her expenses and like keeping track of her 401k. And I don't know. Eventually she may get her PhD in human and organizational learning. So that is sort of my stability, Mal, aka Meredith.
Love.
Meaning Mal, aka Maeve. She works at an abortion clinic, or she does the kind of multiple streams of income thing. So like newsletter, podcast, fitness, like writer, journalist, etc. Or I guess both, I don't know, but that was sort of my interpretation. Relationship, Ryan, but I added she might be a stay-at-home mom, or like work part-time and also be a stay-at-home mom. She wears a lot of thread up clothes and keeps a small amount of high quality clothing and doesn't wear a bra a lot. She has kids at 35, like unlike Meredith, who has them at 30. She lives in Boulder or Seattle or Oregon or Humboldt. She lives in an apartment or in a mountain cabin. And I wanted to add the apartment thing because my friend Connor has been talking a lot about how, like, in order for like housing prices to go down, like people need to stop being obsessed with the whole single family home thing and need to accept that like the future is more high rises where people our age are buying like full like levels of condos, so that like single family homes are taking up really valuable property that we could lower the prices for everyone if we built more high rises with multiple levels. There's a whole, it's like a whole, I don't know, theory. So I wrote lives in an apartment because I've just been thinking a lot about that in the future of like our housing crisis.
Wow.
So that's my aside. Maeve wrote an essay book. She goes on hikes every day and loves outdoor rock climbing. She backpacks on the weekends and goes skydiving and travels a lot. She reads fiction books mostly. Her dream vacation is a Nepalese trek to Ever Space Camp. She has a lot of PowerPoint parties and bluffs and poker, which I think is an important key here. And my mom, I think I talked about this on another pod, but what Maeve is wearing in this is my mom, when she was younger, had horses and was a big horseback rider. So her family like owned horses and she loved them and she was a great horseback rider. And so her mom got her embroidered this shirt that has these big horse heads on them. And I like have always loved it and thought it was so cute. But like kind of embarrassingly cute.
Is this the shirt you talked about last episode?
Yes. And so Maeve is wearing it because I've been wearing it like 24/7 and it makes me feel like so fun and flirty and cool. So that's what Maeve is wearing. Questions?
What is Meredith wearing?
All I wrote by Meredith is that she had her nails done.
No, you said Lululemon.
Yeah, I said Lululemon and Rothy's, but I didn't like draw them. I just did draw the horse shirt on Maeve. Yeah, I didn't do the percentages, but I would honestly say like probably 60% Meredith, 40% Maeve, but I don't feel like Maeve is like not a part of my life at all. Like I feel like there are a lot of aspects of Maeve in my current life, or at least I try to include a lot of them. And I feel like this weird, like I'm on the precipice of really being Maeve, or like getting the opportunity to live a lot more of Maeve. And that is where I feel like the big life transition of like the next 2 years is happening. Is it's almost like an opportunity is presenting itself for me to kind of choose to either stay more in like the Meredith focused life, or get to explore the Maeve experience a little bit more deeply. So it feels like kind of a cool time where I'm getting to see what that would look like in real time. So this is kind of fun to do because it does feel like I'm on the edge of something exciting.
That feeling is so fun where you're like, I'm on the cliff, I'm looking out, I'm like ready to go. And it's just, I don't know. It's a fun feeling.
Yeah, So anyway,
anticipatory.
Any thoughts, feelings, questions, concerns?
I would agree on those percentages.
Yeah. There wasn't anything that shocked me, but I'm also like, it was interesting to see it kind of broken up like that.
Yeah. I feel like Meredith is much more of like college now.
Yeah. I was going to say, it feels like that used to kind of be more of your identity, and you're moving more and more away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
While still maintaining like things that feel important to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, it's just funny because like I feel like it's so skewed. Like my dream vacation of Iceland and Switzerland, like that's still cool and adventurous. It's just like not a Nepalese trek,
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. Your turn, McKenna.
All right. I honestly had a really hard time with this, and I think it's because I'm not used to looking at two different sides of myself. I'm used to looking at my core self and then anything that is beyond that. And so I don't know if I did a good job, but I can show you quickly it's just a very simple, like,
I don't think you can do a bad job of
I know, right?
Separation. All right. I did not name my people, so that's kind of boring. I apologize. I didn't name them, but similar to Lara, I was like, I'm going to spend 15 minutes thinking about this. I don't want to have time to spend 15 minutes thinking about it. Maybe my meaning side, I do think I'm going to actually name her Ken.
I was literally about to say that. That is so
Ken
funny.
And Caitlin.
No one knows that. Shh.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I'm gonna do stability first because it's significantly less. I'll do both. Well, I'm gonna do meaning first. It's more exciting.
Okay.
So I really followed these questions to a T. For job, I put similar to Mal, like author, random other jobs that inspire me, like teaching yoga or like birth. I've been really into like birth fitness recently, like doula work, herbalists, like a shop owner, like apothecary, like those sorts of things. So just jobs where I have like a lot of resources and a lot of time to explore. Both sides I put that I was in a committed relationship, and both sides I put yes to kids, although I didn't put any like timeline. Although, I'd have kids right now if I was in a stable place. So that's that. Let's see. I put a big time, like just randomly on the meaning side, because I think that's one thing that I really value, like slower movement, slower living, slower time to like have longer mornings and
Is Douglas on both sides?
Oh my God. Just like it restarts your heart every time he barks.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
He hasn't barked one time in this whole podcast. Okay, so where was I? Time. Let's see. For meaning side, I put as many pets as possible because I want a small farm. So sorry, Val, for your apartments. That will not be in my future, most likely.
That's okay. I would like, we'll accept it.
A lot of land. So a small farm, like chickens, dogs, horses, obviously Douglas. Clothes, I put comfortable, simple, but expressive that make me feel good. Where I'm living, I didn't put cities, but I put on like property on land in the mountains, / forest, like close-ish to like grocery stores and gyms, but private. And I put it like a special place, like you live in a special place. Spiritual, I
like
put
a fourth dimension.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spiritual, I put like breath work and yoni steams because I want to build my own yoni steamer. And don't laugh at me, Mallory.
No, I love that.
I want to build my own sauna. And I think just generally under spiritual, I put the ability to listen to like the flow of what I need. Vacation, I put exploration of anything and everything. And what else? Oh, for fun and hobbies, I put the most. I was like crafting and learning and hiking and reading and woodworking and pottery and designing and teaching and home building. So that was my fun hobbies list. For stability, like I said, I have a lot less, and it was similar to what you guys kind of put, but like my job is a quote full-time real job where you have benefits and all of that stuff. Maybe you have some resources. Hold on. Are you laughing because you can hear me, Lara?
Yeah. Like you're muted, but it might pick up on my audio.
I just said a very firm no to Douglas. Okay, let's see. My clothes are kind of plain, neutral, and simple. Pets, like I still have pets, but it's like way less. It's like one dog, maybe two. For living, I put somewhere fairly urban, close to things. I said not bad, not great. So just kind of a neutral place to live. And then I put some of the similar hobbies. And for vacation, I put explore but less freedom. So yeah, I think if I had to kind of like sum it up, the meaning side definitely feels like Douglas? No. Kai got here earlier, and then now Douglas has lost his mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And yeah, I think to sum it up, I think just like the meaning side holds more of like what I am aiming for and what I'm trying to do. And the stability side holds more of like my fear-based thoughts and life.
Yeah.
What are your percentages right now?
Honestly, I think probably like close to what you said, Mal, like 60-40. 60-40.
Of stability versus...
No, like 60% meaning, 40% stability. Would you disagree?
No, I agree. I think that's you're the first person with the majority of meaning being expressed.
Although that tracks, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like it is always an internal battle, so it's not like something I have figured out at all, but it's something that I think I still very much yearn for, a lot of that meaning side of myself, and that is what I feel like I'm fighting for all of the time. But it's like in the in between, similar to Mal, like I do feel like a shift is coming with that, but it's like I don't know. There's still some like things to kind of clean up for me, and that a lot of it has to do with like boundaries with jobs and all of that.
Yeah. I also wonder if it's more like if like Ken's majority being meaning is that like I feel like that meaning vision that you have is like it's been your vision for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's very like I can see it like basically happening, and it's going to happen, and I think that kind of makes it like, you know, whereas I feel like my meaning side could look a certain like many different ways right now. So I don't know.
Yeah. Ken, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm just so annoyed. Douglas won't quit. Actually, 1 second.
Oh, got a leash.
He now has to just be on the leash. Yeah, I think, Lara, to your point, that I think maybe that might make sense of why mine was more difficult, because it's like this is something that I've been working towards for so long. And it's like there's the things that pop up on the stability side are more so like temporary fears or ideas that like kind of distract from the meaning side, but it's never anything that I know I for sure want. So it like I don't know, I think it's easier to like have the meaning side be a little more present.
Yeah. I think it's also interesting that like when I was doing this activity and when I'm hearing about each of yours, like I don't know, sometimes like the stability side, I like, you know, it's easy to like hate my Lexi side just because I'm like, why are you like overpowering me right now? But I do think that like there's parts of her like compartmentalizing brain that I really appreciate and that I need like very much, or like the wanting a stable known community. Like I don't hate that like at all.
For sure.
Kind of great.
I was literally thinking the same thing. I tried really hard in this, like, not to demonize the stability side, because I feel like there are so many aspects of that side that I need. Like, if I were all Maeve, I also think I'd be a little miserable too.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, even just things like buying the Fremont house, like from Selling Sunset, like that would be a dream. Like that would be amazing. And I don't know if I would necessarily be any happier living in a mountain cabin realistically. You know, I tried really hard to kind of, because I feel like we've really tried to unpack the term stability on the podcast, and like, is our stability side like really stability, or is it just like us kind of maybe allowing culture to like rule us a little bit more? But in some ways, like, I think that's okay, and like that's just life. And yeah, I don't know, I think that it's a balance, which is the whole point of this activity, I guess.
Yeah. I also just burped a little bit and I'm really interested if it'll show up on the podcast. It was like a weird rumbly, like, it's kind of shocking.
I think also sometimes the stability side, it's like we can have the meaning side with some of the stability side, because it's just sometimes realistically what needs to happen to like pay your bills or like do some of those kind of monotonous things that aren't so fun.
Yeah.
Or you may just have like a period of your life that is more focused on the stability side or on the meaning side. And that just might, like, I might need it to be 60-40 right now for it to flip the other way.
Totally. Yeah. To prep for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then things change every time your dynamics change.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff.
We would love to see yours, aka you listener.
I just showed you, Mel.
No, but I'm serious. Like, if you did this either before or after you listened to our pod, like, please tag us in it, and we would love to see it and share it on our stories. Or if it's private, like, DM it to us. We would love.
Yeah, we won't share it
to see it. Yeah, we won't share it if you don't want us to. But we hope that you got something out of this. And again, want to like give NPR the credit. We did not come up with this and this exercise. So
I also think that some of the comments weren't really super positive to the exercise. And so I think that's fair too, of like we learned stuff, but like it might not be the most perfect exercise of all time. It's not like, you know, sit down and we'll map out your whole life. It's just, I think, to get a little more curious.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it was just like good to think about. Sometimes I feel like with these drills, it's not like anything life-changing happened, but it did just get me thinking. And that's all I can really ask an exercise to do.
Yeah. And it can serve as a little more of a realignment of like, okay, I mapped out these things. Am I not doing anything on the meaning side? Maybe I should try and incorporate in those more like times where I just have to check the boxes. What can I bring in from the meaning side that helps that process and keep some of that, I don't know, feeling alive, I guess.
I bet there's a lot of people out there though that have never even thought. Like, I think about Ryan, even like working in finance. I think he knew deep down what his meaning side would look like, but had never allowed himself to imagine what a life living closer to 50-50 would even look like. So I'm curious about people who either are listening to this podcast or saw that post, who, unlike us, have like never even considered that there may be different sides to them that are like slightly at war between the like perceived stability and then our like meaning side. So totally. I don't know, even if like it wasn't helpful to like everyone, I think it probably was helpful to a lot of people who had never thought about that balance before.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get some sand in your
yeah.
bedroom,
Grab
y'all.
some sand. Put that palm tree in your apartment.
Yeah.
That is our advice.
Yay. That was fun, you guys. I think we should try and find other things like this to do.
Yeah, this was so fun. I really enjoyed this. And it was really, I think, a good lead up to our New Year's not resolution episode.
Yeah. I was also thinking of like during the holidays, if it's kind of difficult for you to connect with yourself for whatever reason. You know, I don't think the holidays aren't the easiest time. And so I think that this could maybe even serve as like a little self-care moment of like, you get to get your colored pencils out if you have them like I did, or that was the part I was most excited for. I was like, I just want to use my colored pencils.
I get to have colors.
Yeah. But I think it could, be a fun thing.
My last pitch before we log off is just about the book club.
Yeah.
Are you okay with me giving that quick pitch?
Oh yeah, give the spiel.
So we paused our book club because we wanted to do a little bit of innovation. So we are back with our book club starting in 2023.
Oh yeah.
We've altered it a tiny bit. Starting, I mean, this podcast will come out, I guess, mid-December. So you have about, I don't know, the rest of the month to sign up for the book club. It's free, but we have opened it from December 1st to December 31st. And then whoever signs up for it by December 31st, we're going to close it to that group for the whole year, just so that we can have like an intimate kind of consistent group, which will also hopefully give people a little bit more control over like what books we read and the input in our meetings. We're going to meet every other month. So there's not a lot, like not pressure to read every single month unless you like want to read the book and then, take a month off, but it gives you a little bit more time to pace yourself. And it's free like it always is. We'll be meeting on Sundays in the like mid-afternoon Eastern time. We'll put the form to register in the notes, but if you have any questions, feel free to DM us on Instagram or email us. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I don't know, I just don't know if they would want me to be a part of this book club. I listened to the podcast, but I've never talked to them before. I'm a little nervous. Here is me, Mallory, reminding you that yes, we want you to be part of this book club. We want anyone listening to this podcast to be a part of it. Even like if you have friends who don't listen to this podcast, but you think would like really enjoy being part of a book club, like loop them in. We'd love to have them. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I was just thinking we need to read Frankenstein after talking to Brooke.
Yeah.
Yes, we can definitely do that. Books. And now we need to read Quarter Life, Search for Meaning or whatever.
So actually, if you're part of book club, you only get to vote on 4 books now.
Yeah.
So the other 2.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is my pitch. Please join. We love you. XOXO.
XOXO.
All right. Thank you all for listening. And we hope you enjoyed this activity. Or if you didn't do the activity, just listening to us talk about our lives
but you should do the activity.
I also feel like we got Teacher Mallory today, which is my favorite. So
I know.
Professor Mallory. Coming in hot.
Yes.
All right, everyone.
Love you.
Thanks
Bye.
for listening. Bye.
Bye.